In at number 10, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck got tons of backlash after he suggested that his drinking problem was entirely caused by his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner. In his interview with Howard Stern, Affleck said he'd, quote, probably still be drinking if he had remained trapped in that marriage, saying, quote, I was like, I can't leave because of my kids, but I'm not happy. What do I do? And what I did was drink a bottle of scotch and fall asleep on the couch, which turned out not to be the solution. Many found these comments ridiculous because Garner tried to help Affleck with his addiction issues even after they split. Apparently, Garner drove Affleck to rehab 3 separate times after they split, and people felt like he was placing blame on her for his actions. Apparently, even his current girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, was not thrilled by the comments. A source said that she was pissed that she was pulled into it because of their relationship, although Lopez later issued a statement saying that that was not true and she supported Ben. Affleck later went on Jimmy Kimmel to apologize, and he claimed he came off as the, quote, worst, most insensitive, stupid, awful guy for saying that his marriage was part of why I started drinking. But many will not be changing their negative opinion of him anytime soon. And at number 9, David Dobrik. 2021 was truly the worst year ever for David Dobrik. He got in 2 scandals that had the potential to be career-ending, but somehow he managed to come back after a long break and convince fans to support him again. In 2021, an explosive insider article came out that shared the story of a girl who was taken advantage of by Vlog Squad member Dirty Dom. The woman also accused David of facilitating a toxic workplace environment that led to her assault. But that's not all. Around this time, it was also exposed that David was responsible for an accident that almost took the life of his friend, Jeff Wittick. Jeff was partaking in a stunt for David's vlog, but it went horribly wrong, and David took things too far, leading Jeff to have serious, life-threatening injuries to his face and eye. David took a long break, but is posting to YouTube once again. And at number 8, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen is one of the most controversial figures on social media, so it's not surprising that she got in a massive scandal in 2021. It seems that Chrissy is more than just a troll on social media, and she can actually be quite the bully as well. She bullied many celebrities over the years like Courtney Stodden and Avril Lavigne, even coming after children at some points. Her main target seemed to be Courtney Stodden, who spoke out against Teigen and her harassment many times. All of her and her tweets were incredibly disgusting and made the entire internet turn on her. Chrissy decided to leave the internet following the backlash to reflect on her words and actions, but the time she took away only turned out to be a measly 23 days. She couldn't even pretend she was actually going to change her ways and work on herself. Her return to the internet was not taken well, and many of her fans have stopped supporting her. She also just got backlash for hosting a Squid Games themed party. Many think it's ironic because she would have been the rich person paying to watch in the real show. And at number 7, Morgan Wallen. Country singer Morgan Wallen was on track to become one of the biggest country stars of all time, until he was caught using the N-word on a security camera. Wallen was already on thin ice with the public after he left the SNL crew scrambling to replace him as a musical guest on the show when he broke quarantine guidelines right before his appearance. At the time the footage was released, Wallen's most recent album was breaking country records, but after the incident he apologized, saying, quote, I'm embarrassed and sorry. I used an unacceptable and inappropriate racial slur that I wish I could take back. The public was so outraged that his music was blacklisted from radio stations and he was taken off Spotify playlists. Since the scandal, he started touring again and is still breaking country music records, although he is still banned from award shows and has been ostracized by fellow country stars. And at number 6, Nicki Minaj. Right before the Met Gala, Nicki Minaj made headlines for publicly tweeting that she was not taking the COVID-19 vaccine and was not planning to anytime soon. On September 13th, she tweeted, quote, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen, his friend was weeks away from getting married, now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. This tweet sent the internet ablaze, with many saying it was not a reaction to the vax and most likely the man got an STD while cheating on his fiancée. Trinidad and Tobago's health minister said 2 days later that the claim was debunked after being investigated. Nicki then added that she would not be attending the Met Gala because of the vaccine requirement, adding, quote, they want you to get vaccinated for the Met. If I get vaccinated, it won't be for the Met. It'll be once I feel like I've done enough research. Halfway number 5, Azealia Banks. In 2021, Azealia Banks was exposed for potentially participating in witchcraft when she posted a very shocking video online. For some reason, Banks decided to post a video of herself digging up her dead cat that had been buried for months. But that's not all. Then she showed herself boiling the cat. It's truly unsettling and I would not recommend that any of you watch it. She captioned the video, Lucifer 2009 to 2020, my dear kitty, thank you for everything. A legend and icon, forever a serve will serve. Many fans assume that Banks ate the cat afterwards or that she was performing some sort of witchcraft on it. She later confirmed that that was not the case and she decided to boil the cat because she wanted to honor him with taxidermy. She said, quote, no, I didn't eat the cat. I especially would not eat a cat that's been dead for 3 months. But like still, why did she need to post that video? I'm still scarred. And at number 4, Chris Noth. Following the release of the Sex and the City reboot called And Just Like That, lead actor Chris Noth has been accused of sexual crimes against 2 women. The women, who remained anonymous, said that the events happened in 2004 and 2015. Noth and these women had sexual relations which were not consensual. After the allegations became public, Peloton decided to pull their ad featuring the actor. Both women told The Hollywood Reporter that Noth's return to Sex and the City franchise had triggered the memories of their experiences with him many years ago. One woman claimed that he forced himself on her against her will. Another said the relations they had were consensual, but she felt very violated after the experience. Neither encounter was reported to the police at the time, and the 3 leading women on Sex and the City have now issued a statement supporting the women that have come out against Noth. And at number 3, Jen Shah. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City just seems to be getting better and better, and the drama with cast member Jen Shah is not going anywhere anytime soon. Weeks ago we saw Jen get arrested during the show. Now we get to see Jen fighting for her freedom. Shah was arrested by the feds on March 30th of 2021 for allegedly ripping off elderly people in a telemarketing scam. She's facing charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering. The maximum sentence of 30 years in prison if found guilty. Initially, it seemed that Jen was tipped off that the cops were coming for her, and that's why she suddenly left the planned trip. But now she's claiming that she's completely innocent and the cops have gone after her for no reason. And the cops don't just choose someone to investigate for months and then arrest in a sting operation, so clearly they have some serious dirt on her that might put her behind bars. And at number 2, Tristan Thompson. It feels like there is no such thing as a year without Tristan Thompson cheating on Khloe, and sadly 2021 was no different. We learned about the cheating after a woman named Marilee Nichols filed a paternity lawsuit for her newborn son. Nichols at first did not share any details, but after Thompson started attacking her online, she gave the full story of their relationship. She claimed that while she was in California, she met Tristan at a party at his home in 2020. Then in March of 2021, they slept together on his birthday, along with having a relationship for months afterwards. And sadly, Khloe and Tristan were together at that time, and he admitted that he cheated with Nichols. From the statements that have been given, it seems likely that Nichols will win the suit, and that Thompson will have 3 children with 3 different women. And finally, at number 1, Scott Disick. Scott Disick was savagely exposed in 2021 for being a jealous ex. It was pretty clear to fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that Scott was never over Kourtney since their split. But that was made clear when private DMs leaked that showed that Scott was trashing Kourtney's new relationship. After paparazzi photos showed Kourtney and Travis showing tons of PDA while on a trip in Italy, Scott DM'd Eunice Benjima, Kourtney's other ex-boyfriend, and wrote, quote, "Yo, is this chick okay? Bro, like what is this? In the middle of Italy?" Clearly trying to initiate a conversation where they both trash Kourtney. But to everyone's surprise, even though it seems like Kourtney and Eunice ended things kinda badly, Eunice did not trash Kourtney. And he responded, quote, "Doesn't matter to me as long as she's happy. P.S. I ain't your bro." Eunice shared the whole conversation publicly, so it made things even more awkward between Scott and Kourtney. Shortly after this, Scott's girlfriend at the time, Amelia Hamlin, dumped him as well.
And at number 10, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen has been all over the news as of late because of a scandal regarding past messages that were sent out privately through DMs. Along with that, she also left Twitter blaming its toxic cycle for putting her in a bad mood, but then out of nowhere she was just back and tweeting up a storm again. That is until those tweets and private messages to Kourtney Stodden began to emerge. Then she went quiet again and then returned only to give a forced apology. Chrissy used to be beloved on Twitter for going after controversial celebrity figures, but now the script has flipped on her entirely. After this weak apology to save her sponsorship deals, Chrissy's image has slowly shifted from savior to get her out of here. She even had the audacity to say that she had apologized to Kourtney Stodden, but in reality she had blocked her months ago. Coming at number 9, Gabby Hanna. Jessie Smiles had released a YouTube video where she accused her former friend Gabby Hanna of associating with her terrible ex-boyfriend Curtis Lepore. Gabby repeatedly denied having any involvement with Curtis, and at the time of the story breaking, she claimed in a BuzzFeed article that she and Curtis had only met once. Turns out this was false. In the conversations with Jessie, Gabby admitted to interacting with him on 3 separate occasions. Gabby said that when her and Jessie were going back and forth online, Curtis ended up FaceTiming her, and she said that the only reason that she picked up was because she didn't have his number saved. The second incident took place at an event where, again, Gabby said that Curtis approached her to take a selfie, but then that she refused said selfie. The last interaction between Gabby and Jessie's problematic ex took place during a party at 1600 Vine. He showed up at this party because friends of his were also attending, which is why Gabby was accused by Jessie of supporting and hanging out with his friends. According to Gabby, he showed up, pulled her to the side, and tried to speak with her about what happened with Jessie. However, when Jessie tried to interject because Gabby had previously denied this meeting at all, Gabby just ended up snapping and yelling about how she was allowed to have friends and collaborate with others.
Also didn't hang out with, like, his friends.
You admitted to it.
People who knew Curtis Yes, and he showed up and pulled you to the side.
Guess what? I am allowed to have friends. I'm allowed to collaborate. Like, I can't cut everybody out of my life.
Needless to say, Gabby Hanna lost a ton of fans after getting exposed for lying like this. Coming number 8, Justin Timberlake. Following the Framing Britney Spears documentary, Justin Timberlake faced a ton of backlash. The majority of people accused him of sexism and misogyny in regards to his former girlfriend Britney Spears. In response to the outpouring of Britney fans, Justin Timberlake did issue an apology on his Instagram page, but it really didn't feel genuine to anyone. A big part of 2021 was the Free Britney movement, and so as a result, whomever crossed her in the past was going to get exposed this year as her lawyer Matthew Rosengard finally had her conservatorship terminated. As for Justin Timberlake, he certainly will still have a career, but those Free Britney supporters are now going to be a thorn in his side. Coming at number 7, James Charles. James Charles released an apology video in response to the allegations that he had exchanged inappropriate messages with underage people. Typically in a James Charles apology video, he shifts the blame from himself to someone else, but James full-on admitted to his mistakes in this one. He admitted to having engaged in a flirtatious conversation with two 16-year-olds, once from last year and again just recently, which was exposed all over TikTok. Although he is still standing by the defense that he believed that both people were 18 years old at the time. However, if we are going to be transparent with James Charles' intentions, then I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this apology came after he was replaced on the YouTube TV show that he co-created called Instant Influencer. With repeated allegations of inappropriate sexual behavior, it's safe to say though that most people just want to see James Charles quit YouTube. Coming at number 6, Kyle Massey. In 2021, we learned that actor Kyle Massey was facing a felony for allegedly sending, let's call it, rated R material to a 13-year-old girl that he knew. TMZ also obtained some legal documents that show he was charged with one count of communication with this person for immoral purposes. The incident in question is believed to have taken place between December 2018 and January 2019, and apparently it is also connected to a civil suit as well that took place back in March of 2019. At that time, Massey was being sued for $1.5 million for allegedly sending a lot of R-rated content via Snapchat. However, in response to that civil suit, he claimed that he was actually being extorted. According to court documents, Massey was scheduled to appear for his arraignment in King County Criminal Court in Washington, but failed to show up. Coming at number 5, Shia LaBeouf. If you recall, FKA Twigs had sued the actor for causing all kinds of emotional and physical distress during their relationship. In addition to this, several other women have also come forward accusing Shia of similar problematic behavior. In the wake of the lawsuit by Miss Barnett, it was reported that Shia had started receiving inpatient care. Variety magazine also reported that he had decided to part ways with his acting agency CAA because he needed to take a break from acting to get help. This lawsuit, by the way, covered the allegations from both FKA Twigs and his other ex-partner Carolyn Foe. According to them, Shia LaBeouf is much more dangerous and unstable than we ever thought. FKA Twigs would later share her story with the New York Times and say, "What I went through with Shia was the worst thing I've ever been through in the whole of my life. I don't think people would ever think that it would happen to me, but I think that's the thing. It can happen to anybody." Now, in response to this lawsuit and the allegations, Shia said, "I'm not in any position to tell anyone how my behavior made them feel. I have no excuse for my alcoholism or aggression, only rationalizations. I have been abusive to myself and everyone around me for years. I have a history of hurting the people closest to me. I'm ashamed of that history, and I'm sorry to those I hurt. There is nothing else I can really say." Coming number 4, DaBaby.
Special too. Who the f threw that motherfucker? Busted ass goddamn Adidas.
Rapper DaBaby faced a ton of backlash after a video of him making homophobic comments at a music festival went viral. DaBaby claimed he was trying to keep it real as he asked the audience to put their cell phone light up in the air and then began shouting a number of homophobic comments. DaBaby, whose real name is Jonathan Lindale Kirk, was getting canceled by Twitter after he made these homophobic remarks, as well as for bringing up really controversial rapper Tory Lanez on stage. At the end of his performance, he said, "If you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly STDs, that'll make you die in 2 to 3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up. Ladies, if your coochie smells like water, put your cell phone lighter up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking D in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighters up." And as you can see in that image there, that I had to use a few different words than what he actually said there because YouTube would demonetize us in a heartbeat, but you get the gist of why he lost everything in 2021. Coming number 3, Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner being in attendance at the Astroworld Festival during all of the mayhem was one thing. However, the single moment that ruined her career, in our opinion, was when she uploaded a video of an ambulance trying to make its way through the crowd. That video was deleted soon after she realized the severity of the situation, but at that point, it was pretty much the beginning of the end. Now, she really can't even post anymore on her main Instagram page without getting some sort of extreme backlash or 1,000 articles written about it. But, I mean, it's certainly going to take a hit to her Kylie brand because she requires that page to continue posting and advertising. So really in 2021, we may see the downfall of Kylie Jenner, or we may have seen the downfall of Kylie Jenner. In at number 2, Armie Hammer. Details emerged regarding the actor's bizarre fetish, and these claims came directly from an ex-girlfriend of his. Paige Lorenz, a 22-year-old Instagram model and former girlfriend of Armie Hammer, exposed the shocking new details regarding their relationship. During her interview, Paige said, "I had bad bruises all over me when we were together. I was left with marks from him using a paddle. I was his own real-life Christian Grey fantasy. There were teeth marks and bite marks all over me. He was completely obsessed with biting me. He told me, be proud as they were just love bites. Once he said, if you did not tell me to stop, I would eat a piece out of you." And he was serious too. It was like he actually wanted to eat my flesh away. And in a statement of response, Hammer's lawyer said, "These assertions about Mr. Hammer are patently untrue. Any interactions with this person or any partner of his were completely consensual in that they were fully discussed, agreed upon, and mutually participatory." Aside from that, the only thing that Armie has said about these claims is that they are BS. And I don't know about you, but I don't know, they seem true. It's too creepy. There was actual leaked DMs, so I don't know. You let me know in the comments down below what you believe. Coming in at our number 1 spot, Travis Scott. The Astroworld Festival was meant to be a celebration of Travis Scott and his favorite park in Houston. However, this year's celebration turned into a tragedy which turned to be the downfall of his career. After proper safety protocols were ignored and Travis egged on a crowd of 50,000 fans to rush the stage, a crowd surge happened which then resulted in 10 concert goers losing their life. In addition to that, hundreds more were severely injured, and now there have been at least 100 lawsuits filed against Travis Scott, Drake, and Live Nation. That one moment of him ignoring the obvious signs that the crowds were getting out of control led to all of this and truly kicked off the downward trajectory of Travis Scott's career.